I was trying to not make a video, but I cannot not humiliate them and put this thing in their face. So today, what's happening to me, as a target individual, I'm being manipulated. I get reactions and sexual stimulation that they force me to have to degrade me. It's part of this degradation tactics, and it's obvious manipulation. You know yourself. You get like this crank up like stimulation that they do, right? It's super obvious. And sometimes it's just so disgusting how they aim that toward, like they usually aim it toward children, but sometimes it's just like babies, which is even worse, right? And it's just nasty. And then you have this perps, and if you see my last video, you understand what they kind of look like. This type of individuals, of all sorts actually, male, female, young, old, participant, but they get onto some character mode stuff. Like they play this game, this character, childish almost. It's like a kid that's been empowered to feel special. And I hear this purpose, like they still want to present this facade as such a clown-like facade. Of course, I know the government is running this program. And you hear this trash like, nah, we're not. I'm like, you're such a clown. But I'm here to put that in your face. They always try to make themselves, present themselves in whatever fashion. They tell me how happy they are. Everybody's so happy. I'm like, okay, I'm so happy for you. But the truth is, I don't know and I don't care. Because they could be miserable, I won't know. And I don't care, to be honest. But for them to let me know that they're happy, usually it's just they're trying to make me think in certain ways. And what I don't care about the state of happiness or not. I know they're going to get theirs, maybe not today, but it'll come. No need to see this low life go through whatever they're going to go through. I don't. I truly, at this point, see them as the nothings that they are today, as they're able to do these horrible things to me. I truly see these bottom feeders. Target video, you will mostly hear people who are just the bottom feeders. What they're doing to you is because they're bottom feeders for these governmental entities that do these horrible things. What they can do to you is horrible, and it's also very sophisticated because they're utilizing the technology that's provided to them to implement onto us. But they're clowns. Their soul is sold, and are clowns. For me, if they try to make, like, I'm like, they're so desperately in need for you to accept this thing because they want to cope with the reality of what they're part of. They force you to have sexual stimulation. It's obvious. At this point, it's like, what, do you think I can let some trash like you influence me into think that I'm not being manipulated? You are a clown. And I put that in your face 24/7. And I'm not saying that just to say that. I bring up the reality that, oh yeah, they force sexual stimulation. It's over. Matter of fact, the only this technology can do these things. The entities running this program are so pedophilia-centric that I make sure I put that in the videos too. You've seen it. You're familiar with the National Defense Network Abuse Act. It's a real thing. So the humiliation is this validation that the manipulations are happening, and this validation that the entities running this program are very much pedophilia-centric, very, very big issues. And I make sure I put that in their face. There's no escapism. Matter of fact, the projection is so unreal. You wanted me to identify to something I know is not naturally happening. On top of that, working for governmental entities with these issues, you're a clown. Then they act all mad. It's like, I'll put that in your face. Not just to insult them, but to understand that you see all these things you have against you to try. Listen, what's going to happen to me? I understand. I'm a test subject. I've accepted the reality of what it is. The clownery, the facade, the psyops, the games, they just empower these losers to implement these things onto us. That's how I see them. Now, I'm saying this now because if you've seen my last video, they are so desperate. When I mean desperate, let me just be clear the desperation I'm talking about. The desperation is not the desperation that what's going to happen to me can happen to me. As in, they're not going to accomplish what is supposed to happen to me. There is no way there's nothing I can do about that. I've accepted reality. I'm dealing with governmental entities. These losers are just losers contracted by these governmental entities. As childlike as they look like, as unimpressive as they look like, as impressive as they look, they're just the bottom feeders. There's a real freaking governmental entity running this program. This trash can be replaced tomorrow. Matter of fact, they can all die today. Nothing's going to change for me. Is it because they're so good? No. It's because the governmental entities are running this program. They're just participating of that entity in this program that does these things to me. So that's not the type of desperation I'm talking about. I'm talking about the desperation that they so desperately want you to identify with this manipulation that they become clowns. It's like a child that's like, no, believe it's you. We mapped it. We mapped it. We mapped it. They start talking like this via voice to school. I'm not trying to be gimmicky and funny, but that's truly how they try to present themselves. And they change their voices. No, we mapped it. I'm like, you are a clown. Working with the tonality of high sound to think that that's going to change. So, no, if I say it this way, it's going to sound different. It's going to sound like we're not manipulating you. For me, I'm like, please present yourself. I can show you to yourself. That's why I'm so thankful that some of these losers, some of them have been able to be visible by me, for me to take picture of them and to use them as like, look at these clowns. Now, what I need to see, why I'm bringing that up, they're desperate, right? You see in the last video, this contortionist, let me just say, because I have this contortionist, right? That they try to use her as like, you see, that's validation, that's you see, because what they do, they force me to have this sexual reaction to kids, the babies, to all the kids, right? And in this picture, this contortionist, she's like 17 or so, and in this picture, she's doing this like flip thing where she's just like literally contortioning her body, and in that picture, curves are exaggerated and created in ways that looks more womanly than actually she is. When you look at her, it look like a teenager body. But in that picture, things are done in a way that look like she has things that she doesn't have, right? It changes the way she looks. That picture can be easily thought of in a sexual way, even though in reality this person is just like look like a kid. She's a kid, and but when she does this thing, then you can see that. And so initially, when I didn't know who this person was, I would see this picture. I was like, okay, I think that's a woman and whatever. I click on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's just a kid. Right? And so like, oh, you see that moment when you saw that picture like that, you thought, it's like, yeah, because you don't see this person. You just see like the way the body is just, she made her body look. And then you go on it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's just like, right, like a wholesome kid that just do her thing. Now, today, whatever they can use to try to make me accepting of this manipulation today. Matter of fact, they're using their losers of children. And I say that in not to just be me, but it's sad because their kids are being used to frame me, meaning that they're gonna say that I did something to their kids. That's at least what they let me know, right? According to what they're saying, which is so pathetic, and they try to hold on to this. Now let me just show you first of all what I'm talking about, and I don't want to look because right now they exaggerate, they create stimulations. This, you see this? Can you tell me, like, if you see this, like, what would you tell? You just see a female in this contortionist position. In this position, of course, you can imagine something sexual, but this is not how she actually looks like. You look at her teenage kid, typical kid, like this. You can't tell anything, but they're like, oh, but you see in this, you saw her in this sexual way. It's like, look at her, the body is like, you don't even know who it is. Then you click and you see who it is, like, okay, never mind, it's just that. Now today, you know why I don't want to see this? They are cranking the stimulations. They give me sexual arousals that are intense, forcing me to have a manipulative stimulation, because in this picture, she's like a 17-year-old. Like, okay, you do that to like actual kids, babies, when you see them as kids. This picture, you can't even tell who this person is. It's like, hey, how old is this person? Guess. You don't know. You can't. Right? And she's in this position, like contortioning her body completely. So it's all, of course, going to be easy for them to manipulate me to have sexual arousal toward this. But it's falsified still. But like, but no, that, you know, when you saw the profile at one point, you saw it in a sexual way. Yes, because I didn't know who it was. And then you click and you see the actual person. You see how that person looks like. Yes. So today, the patheticness and desperation that they have to try to paint me in this fashion, that they use whatever they can. Do you know that I tried to delete this little picture? I have it. It was so tiny. They started giving me so much stimulation before I even saw who. Just because then I know who's on it, they start giving me stimulations. And instead of, I was trying to like move it around, just move the little picture. I extend it a little bit, and boom, stimulation. I'm like, you see, we're mad. It's like, no, you're forcing me to get sexual stimulation, and this is easy to stimulate me toward, because this person, like this, it's hard to, you couldn't tell who this person is. You just see that. It's like, hey, how old is this person? You can't. She's contortioning, and trust me, the way the physical appearance looks like is not how she looks like. She's literally making her body look like that, but contortioning herself. Right? But here, one can be fooled that there's a womanly physique. The reality, there's none of that. I'm not here to insult anybody. I'm just trying to put things in perspective. I don't want to put anybody down. But these people are forcing me to get sexual stimulation, because in this picture, this person is like 17 years old. That's it. And then they go back, no, but initially when you saw this profile like this, not knowing, you could have thought of, you thought that this picture in a sexual way. It's like, yes, because you can't see exactly who it is. And then you click on it, it's like, oh, never mind. It's like, nah, this bait. Bait for what? To go see this. She has wholesome content. She's a very innocent person. It's like, oh, he's such an innocent, wholesome person. It's just so sad. But they're so desperate. And I'm like, I want to put that in their face. I want to embarrass them like that. I want to humiliate them as much as I can, while I can. And not humiliating by torturing them. Humiliating by the reality of what they're part of. Humiliating by the reality that you are so desperate while involved in this program that does these things, working for these governmental entities, where there's literally things like that's coming out. Oh, let me just read that. Feds have found unbelievable amount of child porn on national security computers. Those are the entities working this program, running this program. This is real. There's a whole bill about it. This bill is like a bipartisan bill aimed to stop child pornographic trafficking on Defense Department network. This is real. They can't say, you see this, you see how this guy is making fun of this man here. To hear them say their name is just, oh, here. About sexual stimulation.
This technology can be used to sexually manipulate the target. It can make the target feel sexual arousal.
What? But they won. They beat. They beat this. I want them to live in this humiliating reality for the rest of their life. Reality will be put in their face. Whatever horrible thing I'm going to go through, let them see. And they say they're prepared to see me go through that. You see how stupid they are? Sorry, not stupid. You see how dumb they make themselves be? They're prepared to go through the horrible things They're prepared to see me go through the horrible things. Like, that's what they need to prepare for. Not the aftermath. They saw how to touch reality. No, this is now the part you need to be prepared for. That's for me to be prepared for. You need to prepare for what's going to come to you. Not this. This is me mentally. God give me strength for whatever horrible things I'm going to go through. This trash needs to be prepared for when I'm no longer a factor in their life. When they're no longer gods. That's what they need to prepare for. This is the fun part. This is when they just like, they're so out of touch with reality. That now we're prepared to watch you suffer. Oh gosh, that's what you need to be prepared for. Target individual, stay strong. But for me, I'll put this in their face till the end, and make myself look like a prophet when I'm not. I'm just saying the most obvious thing. They just wanted to gaslight you into accepting this retardation. They need to prepare for what actually they need to prepare for, not for my sufferance. Oh, this is matter of fact, they need to prepare for the effect of what they participate in, for of mass suffering and anybody else they participated in. That's it. Target individuals, stay strong.